of art.
There you are! Look at that! Oh, why is your small... Oh, because you're tiny. You're a doll.
I tiny.
It is way smaller when you talk, though, for some reason.
Oh.
I don't know if you see that.
Shrink.
We're going to do a little bit of introduction here. Before we get into kind of the mechanics and everything, do you guys want to just briefly introduce, one, yourselves, so people know where to find you, and then also your character?
I'm Melon Minty on Twitter. I'm a VTuber and illustrator.
And a melon.
And I'll be playing Hanami, Rokurokubi. So it's a yokai race.
Excellent. Peko, you're next.
Hi, I am Peko. I am also a VTuber. Character that I am playing is Kyrie. She is a possibly possessed, possibly haunted, who knows, porcelain doll. And she is a bard.
Woo! I would just like to point out that Peko informed me, a bard with no genitals, which is fun.
I'm Yan. I'm a horror streamer. My character's name is Lillian, and she is a... Okay, I'm gonna butcher the name. Is it Asmar? Asmar?
That's pretty close. It's Asimar, but I bet you that is a variation.
My class is a Deathmont art.
So, for context, this is Rivenstein, which is a pretty bustling city. And you guys have all arrived at the city for different reasons. Can you guys just each tell me why your character might be in a city like this? What might bring them to a city like this?
Okay, I'll go first.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was like, no, I was saying anything. I'm here to find more wealth to steal.
Peko, why would your little haunted, allegedly porcelain doll be in this town?
Money is great. There's more idiots, more targets. And for a bard, what more could you want, really?
Yan, why don't you tell us? Why is your character here?
Well, money is good. But I'm also looking for answers. I lost my parents when I was a child.
Classic.
And I don't know how.
So, we have people here for money, and we have people here for prey, and we have people here for answers. We move to here. A dimly lit tavern. You walk in, and you see all sorts of faces. What's the first thing that you do upon entering the bar?
I'm gonna go grab a drink.
What about you? Is it Konami? Where are you headed in here? What's your first step?
I'm just gonna head over to this empty table over here,
Okay.
just so I can get a feel of the vibes in the room.
We're doing a vibe
Everybody
check.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vibe
yeah.
check.
We will start with, from the left, Peko here. What is Kyrie doing?
She is setting up for a little performance. She takes her lyre out. She's sitting up on the stage, looking as pretty as can be. Little porcelain doll. Just trying to gauge the atmosphere in the bar. See who's interested, who takes an eye to her music, knowing that she can probably go talk to them later on.
Next, we have Konami. What are you doing? You're sitting here doing a vibe check. How do you do that exactly? What are you looking for?
She's basically here doing her regular run, kind of scouting out who seems to be making the most money based on their clothing and their mannerisms.
Mm-hmm.
For now, she's got her eye on... What's this lady? Oh, you know what?
That's Florence.
This guy with the top hat.
Yeah, he's a good target.
Make a perception check.
Oh.
So, Konami, you come in here, you sit down, you're a bit exhausted from your travels, and you're kind of getting ready to look around and scope out who's got the cash, but actually this lovely lady over here, she kind of catches your attention. You're like, ooh, she's kind of cute. And she looks at you, kind of looks you up and down and smiles, which is a little distracting from the other gentleman over here who looks like he could potentially be just a little bit wealthier, but you know how those women wiles are. So for the time being, you're currently a little bit entranced. Yan, You're over here. Let's zoom in here. What's going on? You're ordering a drink? Is that what's happening?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What do you say to the barkeep?
I would
Hi.
like to order a beer.
Well, you've come to the right place, I have to say. We have some excellent beer on tap here. Definitely the best in town, or so I'm told. Okay, so, you go over here, you have your beer. Konami, you guys all happen to come in here, but you haven't made yourself acquainted yet. You do see this new person walk in, who you were not, observing before. You want to make another perception check for me.
Alright.
Florence is really pretty. Like, she's so pretty. Look at her. Like, come on.
Why must I be gay?
Is it Kyrie? Kyrie?
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Like Kyrie and Liaison.
Of course. You've been playing music and vibing up here. Are you still playing, or are you getting ready to make your move on your first target?
Just finishing up the last little bit of her song, and she looks down at the target, at this gentleman with a top hat. She gives him a little bit of a smile, which is very different from what she's looked like up there the whole time. She generally just looks very, either some say serene, some say bored.
Will you make a performance check for me real quick?
Of course.
Let's see how sick these beats are you're dropping. These are some sick fucking beats. Lilith, you notice that there's, a fine gentleman here who seems to really be enjoying the show, and you notice this woman beside you who seems very entranced with the other woman across the bar. What do you think of this when you catch this?
I'm amused.
The feminine wiles are at it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you sip your beer and you kind of look around and you see this unfold, Konami, what are you doing now? Are you making another perception check?
I'm flustered. I shake my head a little bit, slap my cheeks just a little bit.
Snap out of
Try
it!
to gain my senses a little bit. I have been really tired and I suppose a little vulnerable.
Ooh.
But I decide to shake it off and go get a drink.
You approach the barkeep and she smiles at you and she says, "Hello, what can I do you for?"
I just want the strongest thing you have.
Oh,
On the rocks,
the strongest. On the rocks. And she smiles and she says, now you're talking my language.
Alright.
Aha.
Oh, wow.
Feeling refreshed as you take a sip of this, what appears to be paint thinner, your eyes burn a little bit. You kind of shake it off, feeling alive. You look to your left and you see this gentleman adorned in some pretty fancy clothes. He's wearing a top hat, the prick.
I decide to keep my eyes on him
Okay.
while I sip on my drink for a little bit. I want to let him listen to the music a little bit more.
How generous. As for the music, how's it going over there?
So Kyrie is done with her current set of music, and she just slowly puts her lyre back away and makes her way down the stairs. She's a little, she looks a little flouncy, but it doesn't seem to be, overly childish or anything. It's kind of a very slow and deliberate movement. And she walks down over to this gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
and she just kind of looks up and she says, "Hello."
Well, hello there. How is it going? Great work up there, I must say.
Well, thank you very much. I saw you watching, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for enjoying the performance.
Well, of course, I've always been one who enjoys the finer things in life, like the arts. I was planning on having a banquet later. Would you be so kind as to perhaps work the banquet? I would pay you handsomely, I promise, but your musical talents could be put to great use in the city, I have to say.
Oh, well, of course, thank you for this opportunity. I would love to have another chance to see you again and to play for you and your associates. Yeah, and Kyrie decides that she's gonna go get a drink, not necessarily because she can actually, eat or drink, but just, to keep up appearances.
Fair enough. So you go over there and you grab a drink. We'll come back to that. Yan, what is Lilith doing right now?
There's been a fellow behind me.
Yeah.
He's being very quiet, but
He is. So you approach this gentleman and he turns to face you. And he goes, "Well, hello there. What brings you here?"
I'm just looking for a new change of scenery. Where are you from?
"Well, I'm from a small borough, on the other side of town. Not quite as fancy as it is out here, but it is beautiful."
I'll have to check it out.
"Well, yes, I always recommend seeing the sights of the city, but just, maybe if you're out and about, make sure you got someone with you. Things are not what they used to be. There's talk of creatures that have been seen at night, not just your usual beggar, but things that are being described as more horrific."
Well, thank you for being worried. I think I'll be fine, though.
"You do look strong." Kanami and Kyrie, can you guys both make perception checks for me? There you go. Kanami, you actually, even though he's lowered his voice, the way that his voice has kind of carried, you actually are hearing little bits of this conversation, and you can tell that he's warning this traveler that these streets are a bit dangerous and that there's rumored monsters about.
I just kind of put that in the back of my head. I'm not worried about any of that.
Hell
I
yeah.
can take care of myself easily.
We love a girl boss. This person walks in. And he makes eye contact with the gentleman in the top hat.
Daddy?
And
Paying
he's
attention?
not being quiet or anything. He says, "So, what do you need from me in order to finish the preparations for this evening? As always, I am at your service." "Well, Clarence, here's the thing. I need you to make sure that you escort these lovely women to the banquet in one piece. You know how things are out there. And I need to make sure that you provide them with appropriate attire and anything they could possibly need to be comfortable. Can I trust you to do that, Clarence?" And Clarence stands up tall and puts his hands together and he says, "Of course, Francis." And he turns around and walks up to you guys. "So, I hear you've been invited to our shindig this evening."
Oh, why, yes. He was so
Well,
gracious and invited me over so I could meet some new friends.
"Well, there will certainly be many people there for you to get acquainted with." And he gestures to both of you and he hands you some invitations. And he says, "You guys will need these." Yan, can you make a
Yes, of
perception
course.
check?
Yeah.
Thankfully, you don't have to have the greatest perception check because they're not that far away. And they're having a three-way conversation across a few different tables. So you actually can overhear. You're not hearing every part of this conversation because you're not entirely eavesdropping. But you do hear mention of a banquet and a place to stay.
Let's see. How about I make my way back to the bar
Okay.
and buy a round of drinks and
Ooh.
introduce myself.
Oh, now we're talking. Charisma nat 20 idea there. So you walk over, you've got 4 things of alcohol, you set them down. You're not stumbling or anything. You're actually being pretty smooth. It's not like out of this world smooth, but it's smooth enough to not be considered off. The 3 of you would notice this because she's, right there. But what do you say to them, Lillian?
Hi, I'm new in town, and I thought I might just offer a round of drinks for new friendship, potentially.
How do you two
Yuri
respond to
just
this?
kind of looks over at this other girl who's come up, and she kind of looks her up and down, and she goes, "Well, thank you very much. It's always nice to see new faces. especially when they're coming from someone as cute as you. But unfortunately, I already have a drink. And she holds up her orange juice.
Konami,
Well,
what do you do?
I also kind of look her up and down and just kind of see if I can trust her. Always wary of other people buying me drinks.
Wise.
And I decide that I can trust her. She seems like a nice, good girl.
Nice girl.
And I say, "Oh wow, thank you so much. That's so generous of you." And then I look at Kitty and I go, "Well, if you're not going to have that, I don't mind having two.
We love that.
Don't want to let it go to waste."
Okay, so Konami's getting lit.
Double fisting.
And Clarence looks at you all and he says, "Ah, another friend. Anyway, I think we should probably get going before too long." So you come out and it's getting even darker now, and the air is heavy. So the two of you actually first you see these two zoom all the way in here. Approach around the corner. And Clarence sees them. He steps forward to these two and he goes, "Who goes there?" Well, you see, I'm just so hungry. We haven't had food in so long, and do you have any money or bread, perhaps, that you could give to us? He goes, "Nope, there's no bread here. In fact, I believe you're not supposed to be wandering the streets at this hour. How did you get here? Our guards should have stopped you from getting this far. How did you get in here?" "Oh, please don't hurt us. We just are so hungry." "Go back to where you came from. I have very important business to deal with tonight, and I do not need beggars interfering. Thank you very much." And he walks and tries to push past them. Not actually push them, but kind of muscle them out of the way a little bit so that he can get past.
As Kyrie goes to follow him, she also pulls out some rations from her bag. She pulls one out and she hands it to the child and she says, "It might just be better if you go back like he said."
And when you get to the other side of this bridge, you hear just a blood-curdling scream from back where you came.
Sir Clarence, what were you saying about it being your responsibility to make sure that the citizens were safe? That did not sound safe.
He looks concerned and goes, "I will investigate." And he walks back over to find this woman, her child, just mauled to pieces.
Are the rations still there?
The rations are still there. Will you make a perception check?
It has extra sauce now.
Oh my god, Lillian.
What is wrong with me?
Lillian, you're looking around and you're just like, what? You're looking at these people on the ground, and it's pretty fucking brutal. Like, this is
Those are people.
gory. As for Konami and Kyrie, you see this climb down from the wall.
Flying down?
It climbs down, so it's on all fours and it starts to crawl down the wall, head first towards you. You
Before
can
it gets
hover
to us,
over it to see.
can I pick up my ration and dust it off and put it back in my pocket?
Yes, you can. As the thing looks at you and it screeches, blood dripping from its mouth. Clarence looks at both of you. Then he looks at Lillian, who's still kind of staring at the bodies on the ground, and he looks at this thing in front of him and he goes, "What is that?" And he starts to book it. He like starts to run away and he's like
Aaron.
Jesus Christ.
Pathetic.
So Kyrie just kind of backs up a little bit, relatively fragile. But she looks at this demon and she's like, "I don't like you. And, you know, I'm glad you're tall, because then there's more of you to hate.
So he has to do a
And
wisdom
she
save?
uses, vicious mockery for a wisdom save.
Fails. So he takes a psychic damage.
Woo!
Lillian is not really paying attention. Thinking, oh, there's a chance to catch her off guard. As he leaps down into your range, Lillian, and he is going to swipe at you. So, he has surprised you a little bit, but he's not going to get a surprise attack because you did get to see your party members address him. But he still kind of gets the jump on you. So all of a sudden you turn around and there's just this thing, like, inches from your face. No face, just teeth and jaw and blood as it
Lovely.
reaches out for a claw attack. And then... Okay, well, he gets disadvantage. So I don't even think we need to roll another one because he just rolled a nat 1. So it doesn't really matter if he has disadvantage or not. He reaches out to you and he goes to take a claw swipe at you. And you just ever so slightly step out of the way. And because he kind of misjudged where he was jumping down from, he lands and does a bit of a face plant, narrowly missing you with his back legs, which is not even what he was trying to hit you with, as he kind of ends up on the ground. Konami, it's your turn.
I'm gonna stay put, and I don't really want to reveal the full form yet, so I'm just gonna bare my fangs at him.
Lillian, you just saw this creature just come jumping down in front of you to make a swipe at you and miss. What do? He's kind of at your feet.
Well, since he face planted, can I pull out my daggers?
Yep.
And do a little stab?
Yeah, you sure can. Oh, it did. Looks like it did roll. I rolled also just in case. So it looks like you with your first dagger attack, because you have 2. You reach down and you try and stab at him, and you notice that his skin is like thick and slippery. And so you try and make an attack with your dagger, and shoo, it slides off. So you grab your other dagger, and this time with more force and purpose, you kind of just stab it straight in. And you just hear like a gushing sound as he takes 3 damage. Clarence is now looking at you guys, and he goes, oh shit, oh fuck, oh heavens. And he realizes that he can't just be a pussy forever. So, he's gonna turn around. Where is it? So, he is going to cast Eldritch Blast. You see him turn around and look at this creature and shudder. As he reluctantly tosses out a spell kind of from the back of his hand, while still trying to keep his distance. So he hits, and the creature takes 6 force damage. And you just kind of see it get knocked back a little bit as Clarence kind of looks through his eyes that he was kind of squinting a little bit and sees that he has actually successfully hit this creature, and you see him kind of puff up his chest a little bit like, aha, I meant to do that. Now it's your turn, Peko.
Okay, Kyrie is going to sort of go around to the side over here, because she has a plan and she doesn't want to hurt her new companions.
Okay.
But she walks over here and she takes out her lyre. She just goes, and a 1 and a 2 and a big fuck you, and she uses Thunderwave.
Pew pew pew. So he has to make Constitution save, right?
Yes.
He fails.
Woo.
So he takes 15 thunder damage.
Yes. And he gets pushed 10 feet away.
So he kind of goes flying here into this fountain and slams against the fountain as it hisses and screeches at you, and then kind of stands up on its back legs this time. Claws out, mouth just wide open, dripping with blood.
As a bonus action, would like to give some bardic inspiration die to Lillian, because she seemed to know what she was doing.
Thank you.
Okay, so the looking at Konami now, who's the closest. And so
Okay.
it's going to lunge at you and make an attack. You have an you have an action prepared before this happens. What do you do?
Okay. I will do a poisonous bite.
Okay.
Because I see him coming at me, and I've already
Yeah.
been baring my fangs, so...
Yeah. So that hits.
So... Okay. Oh, cool.
He comes flying through the air trying to lunge at you, and as he kind of gets into your space, you just bite down on his shoulder, and he takes... Okay, so
Hey,
wow, max damage. He comes out towards you, and you're ready for him. As he takes 12 damage. And this poison damage, you can see he kind of just like winces a little bit, screeching, just saliva flying in your face, as it reels from the pain of the bite it just received. Enraged now, he's still going to try and make his claw attack on you. Okay, so he misses. Just reeling from the pain, shocked during his ambush that you managed to kind of catch him out of the air. He grabs his shoulder and he falls to the ground for a second before looking at you and skittering away on all fours, which is something he can do, which is disengage as a bonus action. So he's skittering away, he climbs up the fountain here, and he's kind of hanging off the fountain, this time upside down with his head kind of facing down towards you as his neck is twisted around. Now, Konami, it's your turn again.
Kind of pissed off, she decides fuck it. She's gonna reveal herself.
Okay.
And she uses elongate neck.
Ooh. Bonus
Going
action
noodle
is your neck.
mode.
So you get to bite from 20 feet away. Wow.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna use my bite as the action again.
Okay. So 4.
Oof.
So you reach out and your neck kind of elongates as Clarence, who's standing nearby, just kind of looks a little bit in horror. And you do 4 more damage to this creature, which screeches out, just this blood-curdling screech, as you can see that, like, some of its skin is falling off, and it looks to be very injured. Lillian, it's your turn.
17.
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
5 up, so
Okay.
he's within the range. So yeah, you can throw a dagger.
Okay.
Okay, so that hits. You throw this dagger, and it goes flying towards him. He's sitting there screaming, his mouth agape. As you throw this dagger, how do you want to kill him?
Right in the center of his head.
Okay. So you guys watch as she just chucks this dagger and it just flips through the air almost in slow motion as this thing screams, and the dagger just goes lands right in the center of its head, blood pouring out as it dies and falls lifeless into the water of the fountain below. Clarence kind of is taking a second looking at everything that's just happened, and he goes, and he looks at Konami and looks at her neck and just goes, okay, here's the thing. Couple things here. I won't tell anyone about that whole neck thing. If you guys don't mention that you saw this creature at the banquet, it is very important that tonight goes perfectly, and if it doesn't, we may be seeing more of these things. We're trying to keep it low-key. Please, please do not mention this at the event tonight.
I consider it for a second, but since I do need a place to stay and I do want to go to the banquet, I agree. And I make my neck normal again.
Yuri just kind of looks at him and goes, "Your protection, needs work."
He looks a little bit nervous, and he goes, well, you see, I'm not the one normally doing the protecting, and I'm thankful that you are strong ladies who appear to be able to take care of yourselves. I'm just a servant, okay? I haven't been trained to fight. I'm doing my best, alright?
She looks at him again and goes, "That's fair, but I expect juice."
3 of you, plus him, move on through the city. You kind of step around these bodies and make your way. But as you make your way through the city, you get to a part that just seems just a bit more opulent, a bit more rich. And you see just this beautiful, beautiful building in front of you as Clarence says, "All right, ladies, after me." And he pulls open the door, revealing this place.
Wow.
Ah, yes, bunnies, good taste.
And with that, is actually where we're going to end our session. But next session, this is where we'll pick up. You guys will also be level 2. Woo! You did it!
Yay!
Good work! Good first session!